Today on Spiritual Awakening Radio, readings from the Kabir Book of Prayers. As part of my ongoing series exploring the teachings of the Masters during different time periods and lineage clarity about the specific line of Sant Masters, the path of the Masters, going from the living present back to the time of Guru Kabir many centuries ago, and points in between. I might on this program share the teachings of a living master or recent master of the 21st or 20th century, or from the 19th and 18th centuries, such as the Bachan Radhasoami poetry, hymns, and mystic poetry of Tulsi Sahib of Hathras, or earlier still, Dariya Sahib of Bihar's mystic poetry, or the literature of the Kabir line of masters, the people of the Anurag Sagar, Dharam Das, Kabir, Satgurus from long ago, who composed the Anurag Sagar, the Ocean of Kabir, or Kabir Sagar, Amar Mul, Brahm Nirupan, and so many wonderful collections of hymns, Bijak, Sakhis of Kabir, so many books of Kabir and his spiritual successors. The Kabir Book of Prayers was compiled by Dr. Jagasar Das of the Kabir Association, Surrey, BC, Canada, a number of prayers dating back a few centuries in the Kabir tradition. Before I get to that book, another prayer, also from the Kabir tradition. I call it the Himsa prayer. It's an amazing prayer I found in this book called Praises to a Formless God, translated by Professor David Lorenzen, someone who specializes in the literature of the Kabir Panth. Praises to a Formless God is published by SUNY Press of New York. When I noticed this prayer, I knew I wanted to share it online, just forever, permanently, and of course on radio as well. This prayer would be recited by sadhus who reside at various Kabir-related ashrams in India, and is a very powerful prayer. I give it the name, the Ahimsa prayer. O Guru Dev, give me peace. Give worthy feelings, worthy intelligence. Give mutual cooperation. Give purity to my heart. Let there be pure feelings in my mind. Let there be pure conduct by my body. May my speech be free of falsity and slander. May the sentiment of bhakti or devotion increase. May my thoughts not be agitated by the ripening of innate karma. May my body and mind be healthy. May my worship be free of obstacles. May I remain in the presence of saints or sants, and be filled with a sentiment of devotion. May I swim across the ocean of samsara, this world of changes, the ocean filled with passion, hate, and fear. Let there be neglect for wicked persons and compassion for the destitute. Happiness among those of good conduct and friendship with good people. May buffoonery cease, and may we delight in the words that lead across samsara. May we be merry in the study of wisdom. May we keep our minds under control. May we have hope of refuge with the Satguru. May we have no fear of lust and other vices. May we ever yearn for self-awakening and have faith in the words of revelation. May the darkness of ignorance be destroyed. May the lamp of knowledge be lit. May the law of death be forgotten and immortality be expanded. May there be no harm done to living beings through my words or my actions. May I never feel the least attachment to the objects of my senses. May there always be happiness and the absence of desire. May there be an end to the power of samsara and a beginning to the knowledge of God. This Ahimsa prayer is a commitment to self-examination, introspection, correction, non-violence in thought, word, and deed, including in the area of diet. It is the ethical foundation of Sant Mat, the path of the masters of the East. And any successful entering into the meditation practice of inner light and sound meditation, Surat Shabd Yoga, going within and exploring inner space. It's such a beautiful, eloquent prayer. It's something that one could recite each and every day of life. For it is not in the knowing, but in the doing and the being that we embody peace. The Kabir Book of Prayers, compiled by Dr. Jagasar Das. It's unclear who the authors are of these prayers. These prayers have been recited for centuries in the Kabir Dharam Dasi tradition. They're very beautiful, very wonderful, and so it's one of those ancient texts where wherever it came from might be somewhat of a mystery, but it sure is wonderful. O Guru Deo, I offer salutations to you. You are the embodiment of truth, and you remove the fear of birth, death, and time. I offer salutations at your holy feet. You, Satguru Dindayal, are kind to the humble, and by your grace the traps of doubt are removed. I bow down to you, O Guru Deo, who is always compassionate. In a moment you can remove lust, anger, greed, and attachment. Please make my speech and my intellect pure. I cannot grasp the secret of God. I humbly pray to you, please listen, O Guru Deo, and guide me on to the path of the Creator of the universe. The ocean of reincarnation is burdensome, it is unfathomable, and difficult to cross. You are compassionate. Have mercy upon me, and give me a place of refuge. I stand with folded hands and earnestly beseech you, O Master. You are compassionate to the humble. Please take my hand and lead me to Jiva Mukti, liberation of the soul. Again and again I bow to you and salute you, O limitless Master. With your grace I advance beyond this fearful ocean of reincarnation. I am fully confident that you are the true eternal Lord. You are the Satguru, and you are the most steadfast. To whom else should I bow my head in prayer? I bow to you. You are kind to the humble. Dear Guruji, I bow at your feet and ask for pure, discriminative spiritual knowledge. In this world there is a great fear of death. Please give me purity of intellect so that I may overcome this fear. Time and circumstances have entangled me in worldly affairs and cheated me of knowledge of God and meditation. Without your grace, how can I gain this knowledge? time and circumstances have entangled me in worldly affairs and cheated me from knowledge of God and meditation or dhyan. Without your grace, Satguru, how can I gain this knowledge or gyan or gnosis? I have now endured much suffering in the world and have wandered aimlessly because of its false hopes. You alone, Lord, are the remover of suffering. Please give me this cherished knowledge. You are the foremost guru, and you are just and kind. Without you I have no other refuge. In many ways Kal, the Lord of time and death, the negative power, has made me suffer. Hear my prayer, O Master. You are the most noble of souls. O Master, you are from the very beginning and are changeless. But this world is ever changing. You alone are not subject to aging. You are eternal. I am subject to mental and physical sufferings. Without you, how can I remain free of cares? Please give me your blessings so that the eternal name, or Amar Nam, grants me peace. This world is a city bound by time and can be destroyed in a moment. If you grant me your mercy, then I will certainly attain imperishable reality. O enlightened one, give me such knowledge that I may overcome the bondage of reincarnation. O Lord of truth and nobility, grant me your mercy and cast away the bondage of my karmas. O compassionate one, have compassion for me. Grant me truth and noble actions, O Lord. I bow at your lotus feet and place my hope in your eternal name. You are the giver, and I am the beggar. O merciful Sat Kabir, Satya Kabir Dayal, give me spiritual knowledge and remove all my sufferings. Remove the noose of Yama, the god of death. I am of no value and am devoid of knowledge and meditation. O Sat Kabir, shower your grace on me and give me discriminative intelligence and meditation. Who am I? What is this world? I do not know the secret. O Sat Kabir, remove this mental anguish so that I may realize my true self, my true soul. Kal, or time, has bound me, and in 3 ways, past, present, and future, has spread its trap for me. O merciful Sat Kabir, Satya Kabir Dayal, please explain to me the secret words to overcome Kal. I am your child, but very poor in discriminative intellect. People laugh at you because of my shortcomings. Please quickly remove my defects so that I may obtain spiritual knowledge. O Satguru, you are the chief of the Hansas, heavenly beings, or souls, and you dwell in the eternal abode. I am your child in this world where Kal keeps torturing me. O Satguru, you are the Redeemer of souls. Your name redeems those who are unworthy. O merciful Lord, release me from this bondage so that I may dwell in your eternal abode. Your name is the Redeemer of souls in this world. I am suffering in this world of rebirths, and this brings shame to your good name. O Satguru, you are the refuge of those who have no refuge at all. You are the bestower of the abode of fearlessness. I am like an orphan without a master, and you are the refuge. Please grant me liberation. If you do not take care of me, who else will? Please remove the trap of death of which I have become a victim, and grant me Jiva Mukti, the liberation of the soul. You're hearing some excerpts from the Kabir Book of Prayers, recited by many over the centuries in the Kabir line of masters, the Kabir tradition of Sant Mat, recited by many initiates over the centuries. Humbly bow down to the Satguru, by whose grace many souls were enlightened. Again and again offer salutation, as his feet is the abode of Satnam, the true eternal name. He is from the beginning, eternal, in age after age, and nameless, or Anami. As a saint, he has left his own abode to come to this world. He came to the world and taught the way and released the souls from Yama, the god of death. He strengthened meditation on the Shabda, the sound current, and released souls from the bondage of karmas and doubts. He taught a unique type of devotion, Nargun Bhakti, love for the formless Lord, or ocean of love. He taught a unique type of devotion, Nargun Bhakti, that is not of the Vedas, Quran, or the goddess Shakti. God dwells in the fourth state of consciousness, superconsciousness, and that is where the liberated saints always dwell through meditation. The perfect master has shown that abode where, without musical instruments, the miraculous divine music or sound, Anhad Nad, plays. As you advance, there is the invisible God's royal court that can be seen in unique meditation. The term for the invisible God used here in Hindi is Alak Parush Darbari. The invisible God, the court or abode of the invisible God. Alak Parush Darbari or Dabara. As you advance, there is the invisible God, Alak Parush Darbara, royal court that can be seen in unique meditation. There is the unfathomable and marvelous abode that the saints in meditation can contemplate. From there you will see the immovable palace where the immortal Satguru dwells. When your karmas and meditation harmonize, then you will merge with the nameless God, Parush Anami. Some thoughts about this Kabir Book of Prayers that I'm sharing about on today's edition of Spiritual Awakening Radio. I thought it was important to include some of these Hindi terms as I shared these prayers, because it shows how the teachings are the same. You know, Alak Parush, Agam Parush, Anami Parush. These are all names or terms for levels of God, which one might find in the Bachan Radhasoami poetry of Seth Shiv Dayal Singh. So, in other words, these teachings are not new and didn't begin with Seth Shiv Dayal Singh in 1855 or 1861, but come from far back in time, as we see here in the recitation of some of these verses from the Kabir Book of Prayers in the tradition of the Anurag Sagar, the same people that composed the Anurag Sagar, created these prayers, and we see these terms for God. Nargun Bhakti refers to the formless God, the God who is beyond forms, time, and space. So it's interesting to see these terms in use. Surat Shabd Yoga also is referred to here, Anhad Nad, the music that's playing without the help of musical instruments, the miraculous divine music that can be heard in meditation. So these teachings are very old, nothing new under the sun. The same Surat Shabd Yoga being taught today was taught many centuries ago, as we see here by reciting these verses from the Kabir Book of Prayers. More verses from the Kabir Book of Prayers after this break. You're hearing Spiritual Awakening Radio. My name is James Bean. Stay tuned for more after these messages. Kabir Book of Prayers today on Spiritual Awakening Radio. This section of the Kabir Book of Prayers is called Gyan Stotra, or Spiritual Knowledge. Sat Kanam Si Satya Sagar Bara Sat Kanam. The eternal name of God fills the eternal ocean or universe and covers the three worlds. Realizing this, the saintly people glorify Him, singing arti or worship and clapping their hands, and with love play their musical instruments. The saints engage in true devotion or bhakti and take the name of God with enthusiasm, or recite the name of God with enthusiasm. They reach the peak of meditation and hear the thunder in the silence. Sat Kabir is the eternal master and is omniscient. Attaining him, sing the glories of the eternal name, whether you are rich or poor. O Kabir, we are like humble beggars in this world. We have entered all phases of life and live in prayer and devotion, and behold the form of the Word. We exist in the whole body as the soul. We are poor and hungry but carefree. We follow no one but enjoy and follow our own way, the way of God. We know and enjoy all things in the easy way. We souls are immortal and are not bound by this or that side of this world. We are in this life and in the other life, and on the banks of all the rivers, soul is omnipresent. This is titled Chittawani, or Reminder or Instruction, from the Kabir Book of Prayers. Kabir states that the messengers of death went and declared to Dharma Rai, that is, the god of law and judgment and death, that the souls have taken refuge under Kabir, and their traps have become useless against the souls. Those souls are not afraid of us, nor of you. By the strength of the Satguru, they have become brave, and keep on repeating, Kabir, Kabir, Kabir. Kabir is a speaker of wisdom. Let my faith in him not decline. He is the boatman on whose boat many have climbed aboard. The discipline he taught was all-encompassing, and it created quite an excitement in the city that Satguru Kabir. constructed. I do not see anyone else like him. O brother, listen to the eternal sound, the eternal word. Sainthood is in fact like a spiritual emperorship that is totally just. Undertake worship in his presence, and you will easily cross the ocean of birth and death, the ocean of samsara. Be in love with Soham Shabda, and win the fearless, eternal abode. O soul, take care of this body, in which the name of God resides. Make your residence in consciousness and meditation. Turn around from the clutches of this world and proceed towards God. Travel in the region of consciousness in which there is union of the soul and God. Control the breath totally in both the body and mind. In this way, become totally absorbed in the infinite God. Make your eyes the arrow and your eyebrows the stringed bow, and in meditation shoot the arrow at the Trikuti mountain, the third eye between the eyebrows. Always bathe in the bliss of Trikuti, and your birth and death will be abolished, and you will easily obtain liberation. This world is like a marketplace of the invisible God. There are two ponds, birth and death, on one side, and liberation on the other, and God is standing between them. God's beauty is beyond description and is unfathomable, as if decorated by countless stars as flowers. With God's grace, the effects of countless actions or karmas are burned to the roots. Therefore, do not forget to look upon him. God dwells in the hearts of all. Maya, or illusion, is devoid of truth. Therefore, forget her and look at the truth within. Realizing this truth, you will silently feel pearl drops of nectar inside. You will intuitively see the light of the moon and the sun and the shining light of the eternal knowledge, or gnosis. There will be no more aimless wanderings of the mind. You will feel a shower of love all around, and the portal to God opens for you. You will get rid of shiploads of your doubts, and you will see the light of the eternal name. The yogi lives in union with God and drinks cupfuls of divine love. God is your beloved, and therefore surrender your body and mind to him. Love will trap you and pull you to dwell in that highest state of union with God. You will then hear music without instruments, and the sun easily rises in the west, beyond space, time, and direction. The bumblebee mind, wanting the fragrance of God, dwells in the 1,000-petaled lotus. Here the soul is king, and so serene that it hears the blinking of an eye. It attains the beautiful wealth of God and feels soothed, just as under the clouds on a hot day. The soul finds drops of nectar flowing. It longs to see God, and on being in his presence, it bathes in the river of tranquility. The flow of the river turns around and flows in 64 milky currents of spiritual wisdom. The soul then sits on the riverbank of realization and easily plucks the pearls and diamonds of liberation. On today's edition of Spiritual Awakening Radio, you're hearing readings from the Kabir, Book of Prayers. Stay tuned for more coming up after this break. You're hearing Spiritual Awakening Radio on healthylife.net, Positive Talk Radio. Stay tuned for more coming up. Today on Spiritual Awakening Radio, readings from the Kabir Book of Prayers, published by the Kabir Association, Surrey, BC, Canada. The soul then sits on the riverbank of realization and easily plucks the pearls and diamonds of liberation. The soul then rejoices in meeting its beloved Lord, who never becomes separated from its gaze. The soul is freed from the bondage of time and death when, even for a moment, it does not turn away from meditation on the Trikuti. Its eyes are fixed upon the beloved, and it can no longer be deceived. As long as there is life in this body, this instruction brings pleasure. The soul then recites Soham silently and realizes that Kabir is his own real self. Always remember this instruction. No one may know that you have realized God. But in the beautiful state of liberation, you will hear the unstruck divine music, or Anhad Nad. God's name will shine within you, and rarely will anyone recognize it. Only one who has been initiated by a Satguru will be able to understand. Plant the flag of God between two mountains, the individual soul and the universal soul. You will realize the divine sound or word, and with eyes closed, see the twinkling light as the soul. The light is produced without oil or wick. The soul sees the sunrise all around, or is enlightened. And this is indeed a marvelous experience. The soul remains fully conscious, endowed with noble and deep intelligence. It realizes the eternal name and will not perish, because it is Soham Sat Kabir. Some commentary there. Soham means I am that. Sat Kabir is used in these hymns beyond the reference to the Guru Kabir and becomes a kind of cosmic Kabir, or name of God, if you will. So Soham Sat Kabir is saying that the soul has realized its own self. It now has re-identified itself with God again. This is titled Dun, or Chants, from the Kabir Book of Prayers. The perfect Brahm, or God, is the ocean of compassion. Recite his true, eternal, and holy name, Satnam. Just commenting here briefly, Sat is a word that has its roots in Sanskrit and means true, eternal, and changeless, beyond this world of changes. Nam can refer to a name, as in a sacred name, and can also refer to the divine sound, the true name of God that reverberates in the heavens, beyond all earthly language. Not an alphabetical name that can be spoken or written, but something that cannot be spoken or written. The divine sound, or true Nam, or Shabad Nam, reverberating in heavenly realms. So Satnam has multiple meanings, as all of these sacred names you're hearing today, embedded in these hymns and prayers, do. The perfect Brahm, or God, is the ocean of compassion. Recite his true, eternal, and holy name, Satnam. Satyanam, 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 Ram Nam, Ram Nam, Ram Nam. Recite Satyanam, 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 and recite Ram Nam, Ram Nam, Ram Nam. Satyanam, Satyanam, Soham, Guru Ram, Satyanam, Satyanam, Soham, Guru Ram. Recite Satyanam, the true name of God residing within as the soul. Soham Himsa Satguru, the liberated soul finds refuge in the Satguru, and realizing the self as self-existent truth, becomes sinless. Victory, victory to the compassionate Kabir, accept him and reach the shore of liberation. When you speak, utter Ram, Kabir, and the bondage of karmas and doubts will cease. Just pausing here briefly. Ram is a name of God. It means God. And in India there are 4 Rams. Some of them are characters in various Hindu scriptures and mythology. But it is the 4th Ram that Kabir says is the true name of God or true God. The 4th Ram, the formless God, the God above God, the God who is formless beyond time and space, the God who is spirit and truth, the true Ram, is the name that Kabir is using in his hymns, and others in the Kabir tradition also. The God above God, the God beyond God, the true Ram, the Ram above all other Rams. When you speak, utter Ram Kabir, and bondage of karmas and doubts will cease. The bondage of karmas and doubts will cease. Satguru Kabir is the embodiment of truth, knowledge, and bliss. He is the embodiment of existence, consciousness, and bliss. When you speak, utter Satya Kabir, and the suffering of birth and death will vanish. Satyanam, Satyanam, Soham Guru Ram, Satyanam, Satyanam, Soham Guru Ram. The eternal name is God, and God is the eternal Guru, dwelling in me. And that's a great definition of Satya Kabir, or Sat Kabir, the eternal Guru dwelling in me, a very cosmic Kabir, or divine name, if you will. You're hearing Spiritual Awakening Radio. Stay tuned for more coming up after this break. Today on Spiritual Awakening Radio, readings from the Kabir Book of Prayers, translated into English and arranged, compiled by Dr. Jagasar Das of the Kabir Association of Canada. This is a literal paperback book. It's also online for free as a downloadable PDF file. I can send you a link to this book if you'd like to have it. You can have it. Just send me an email at this address and ask for the Kabir Book of Prayers. My email address is james@spiritualawakeningradio.com. james@spiritualawakeningradio.com. Or send a text message to me at this number, 508-603-9381, and ask for the link to the Kabir Book of Prayers. A couple of words about Simran terms or sacred names and mantras and other names that turn up in hymns and prayers like are found in the Kabir Book of Prayers. It's unclear which names here were used as literal mantras. It says recite this name, recite that name. But it's hard to know exactly what went on in times past. Mantras have varied from time to time and place to place. The same mantras have not been used universally throughout time. That's a very variable thing in the equation of time. It is true that the name Ram was very prominently used early on in the Sant tradition. The name Ram appears in the hymns of Nam Dev, Ravi Das, and is a very prominent name used by Kabir, as if that was their sacred name or mantra or Simran word, Manas Jap word. Maybe, we don't know that. That's just speculation. It's kind of a secret thing, the mantra given to disciples by their spiritual masters. Ram was a very prominent name, and as I mentioned before, it just simply means God. And in Indian scriptures and mythology, there are different uses of that name Ram. There are Ram characters in various Hindu scriptures, and there is the true Ram, or true God, or God beyond God, or God above God, God who is spirit and truth, eternal, formless and timeless, the true Ram. And that's what Kabir meant when he used the term Ram. Now, it is true that in the Dadu Panth, the Sangat of Satguru Dadu Dayal of Rajasthan, the name Satya Ram was their mantra. In their case, it was not a secret mantra, but a public domain sacred name. Very much like today, the name Radhasoami is very much out there in the open, a public domain Simran word and sacred name in the Agra Radhasoami tradition. Satyaram is very much like that. Satyaram is like a name, like the name Radhasoami, or a name for the true God at the highest level or plane, used by Dadu Dayal of Rajasthan and the Dadu Panth, or Sangat of Dadu Dayal. Satyaram, which means in English, the true God, or true Ram. So it's a logical construction of a mantra, Satya Ram. And sometime very soon on this program, I'll be exploring the mystic poetry of Dadu Dayal, the compassionate mystic of Rajasthan, and we'll talk more about the sacred name, Satya Ram. In the case of other names that appear in the Kabir Book of Prayers, it's hard to say if they were used as mantra names or not. For instance, the Padavali of Maharshi Mehi Paramhans has much poetry and many hymns, many verses, and those cannot be taken literally in the sense, sometimes he has composed hymns that say, repeat the name Ram, or repeat the name of the Guru. But neither of those are mantra words, or Simran terms, or Manas Jap mantras given out in the Maharshi Mehi Satsang, or Sangat. But it means repeat the name of God, or repeat the name that the Guru gives you. So we cannot be too literalist when it comes to hymns and prayers. A couple of Sakhis of Guru Kabir present in the Kabir Book of Prayers, compiled by Dr. Jagasar Das. Kabir said, "Darkness disappears when the sun arises, and ignorance goes away by the Guru's wisdom. Good intellect is lost because of greed, and devotion is lost because of ego. Know that it is the grace of God that gives you human birth, but it is the grace of the Guru or Master that liberates you from the cycle of birth and death. The Master is like a washerman, and the disciple is like the cloth. God himself is the soap. O Guru, please wash my thought waves on the stone of meditation. Then the unlimited light shall appear." And finally, another Sakhi of Guru Kabir in conclusion. Without the Master, no one obtains spiritual knowledge or achieves liberation. Without the Master, no one sees the truth or has his doubts removed, says Guru Kabir. Thanks for joining me today on Spiritual Awakening Radio. As I mentioned, if you'd like to have a copy of the Kabir Book of Prayers, send me an email at this address, james@spiritualawakeningradio.com. A text message at this number, 508-603-9381. Visit my website, spiritualawakeningradio.com. See you next week at this same time for another edition of Spiritual Awakening Radio.